the basic idea behind this book is kind of taking a look at life from the perspective of two different mountains or two different journeys that successful people often find themselves on. Now, the first mountain is the mountain of individual success. So we leave school, we start a career, we aim for traditional achievements, trying to make our mark on the world, trying to achieve financial success, maybe business success, maybe become famous or popular, whatever it is that so many people today really value when it comes to cultural norms and the individual successes that we chase. And then, as the title of the book suggests, there is this second mountain. And what typically happens is once somebody achieves success in this first approach, they reach the peak of the first mountain, what often happens is they're unfulfilled. They achieved everything they set out to achieve, but they then realize it wasn't really what they were after all along. And that's when they identify, in some cases, not all cases, but in some cases, they suddenly realize that there is this second mountain that may in fact be more purposeful, more meaningful, and more fulfilling to pursue. And so where the first mountain is really focused on individual success and achievement, the second mountain is all about creating an impact through commitment, whether to your family, to a vocation, to your philosophy, or perhaps to your community. So it's much less about individualistic success and more about how you can create a bigger, more meaningful, and more purposeful commitment to life and really achieve something that is more deeply meaningful. So that was kind of my main takeaway from this book, or the main theme throughout the book. And it covered all kinds of different examples of how people might go about achieving this deeper sense of meaning and how they might commit themselves to something really worthwhile that is outside of themselves. Now, I will say the book went in many different directions, many of them fascinating, some of them more and some of them less relevant to me in particular. But just overall, I found it was very interesting, very inspiring, and very compelling. And it made a strong case for how, as a society today, we've almost certainly overdone it when it comes to focusing on individualistic success. Of course, the basis of North American philosophy and focusing on achievement and doing great things has been incredibly powerful. And it's a very key factor when it comes to the success of countries like the United States and others. And yet, there's this growing sense, and I think the author makes a very strong case, that we've kind of overdone that. And there are these other pursuits. There is this second mountain that, for many people, delivers a much more meaningful and deep sense of purpose and satisfaction. So if that seems like something you'd be interested in learning more about, then I highly recommend that you consider picking up a copy of The Second Mountain by David Brooks.